I'm Jessica Easthope. Imagine you're driving by your church in the middle of the day and you catch someone spray painting a statue of the Blessed Mother. What would you do? Well, one Gerritsen Beach parishioner said he didn't even have time to weigh the options. He just reacted to the unholy act in defense of Mary. This white marble statue of the Blessed Mother is being cleaned because just 48 hours ago, most of it was spray painted black. It happened right in front of Bobby Fromani's eyes.
I pull up and I see this guy spraying the Blessed Mother in black right in front of our face.
Bobby, a longtime parishioner of Resurrection Church in Gerritsen Beach, and his friend just happened to be driving by as a vandal who he describes as deaf and mute was defacing the statue. Bobby didn't think. He just reacted.
I couldn't wait for the car to stop just to jump out. I didn't know what his reaction was. He just stood there, and that just made me see that something was wrong here.
The man stayed at the scene until police arrived. He was taken into an ambulance and to the hospital. The statue is brand new, replacing the last statue, which was also destroyed in an act of vandalism. Bobby knew who his next call should be, Rob Coffey, a former parishioner in the restoration business. Rob is cleaning it for free.
This is something out of my faith. I felt obligated to do this.
Resurrection's new pastor, Father Tom Doyle, said as acts of vandalism have become commonplace in the Diocese of Brooklyn, it's important to remember the foundation of our faith.
There's a part of us that want vengeance, but I said we need to reach out in forgiveness.
Along with the blacked out face and hands, the word fake was spray painted on the statue of Mary. But Bobby said what transpired goes to show her intercession is anything but.
This is somebody that's suffering. What good would it have been if he was locked up in a jail?
The diocese is not pressing charges, and parishioners hope the statue can be restored to its original state. Also this weekend, another disturbing incident in Astoria, Queens. A man who already attacked St. Joseph's Church came back. Last month, he desecrated the Blessed Sacrament, hit himself over the head with a monstrance, and destroyed several items inside the church. And on Sunday, he was back, going into the sanctuary and acting erratically while the youth choir was practicing. Thankfully, police arrived in minutes and no one was hurt. Now to some good news. 3 men in the Diocese of Brooklyn are one step closer to the priesthood.
St. John,
Bishop Robert Brennan ordained transitional deacons Randy Wynn, Luis Marquez, and Caetano Moura on Sunday. This next step means they could be ordained to the priesthood as soon as next June. More than 800 people watched the men receive the sacrament of holy orders at the Cathedral Basilica of St. James in downtown Brooklyn. In his homily, Bishop Brennan thanked the young men for the service they will provide for their parishes.
The church rejoices in your response and generosity. The church in Brooklyn and Queens rejoices heartily. And we appreciate the generosity you have shown in entering into priestly formation. Thank you.
The new deacons include the first Vietnamese American to be ordained for the Diocese of Brooklyn and 2 immigrants from Colombia and Brazil. While Bishop Brennan was ordaining new deacons, Pope Francis announced his red hat picks. The Holy Father has chosen 21 men to become the Catholic Church's next cardinals. The new princes of the church include prelates from the United States, Hong Kong, and South Sudan. The new cardinals will be officially appointed during a consistory on September 30th. The Tablet newspaper has exclusive analysis of the new picks. One of them is a face you may recognize, the Pope's representative to the United States, Archbishop Christophe Pierre. You can read all about him and the other red hats online right now, or you can pick up a copy at your local church. So get reading and subscribe online at thetablet.org. Now to the streets of Williamsburg. A familiar tower is gracing the clouds this week, but it's not your typical skyscraper. It's a 4-ton statue. And as Currents News' Katie Vasquez reports, it's all about bringing people back to church.
A more than century-old tradition returned to the streets of Williamsburg Sunday. Tens of thousands of people attend the famous Our Lady of Mount Carmel feast every year to see 112 men carry this 7-story, 4-ton Giglio Tower.
I'm in pain before, during, and after, but part of it is it's supposed to be a sacrifice.
The tradition was brought over by immigrants from Nola, Italy in 1887. The Giglio Tower dances to meet this boat, a representation of the sacrifice of San Paulino, the patron saint of Nola, who saved women and children held captive. Christopher Mascolo comes from New Jersey every year with his family to help carry on this tradition.
I remember the first time I went to Mass as a kid and people were clapping, like applauding. I was like, what's going on? Because that never happened in church before.
Many people like Christopher have moved out of Williamsburg, but pastor of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, Monsignor Jamie Gigantiello, says the Gilio Fest not only brings them back, but evangelizes the new people who have moved in.
To see the church as a welcoming community, to see the priest as someone that they could relate to. And every night when I'm here at the feast, there's always one or two, they say, we're going to come to church.
And it's that welcome that parishioners of Our Lady of Mount Carmel say is what makes this tradition so great.
Making church interesting, making it fun, and making it engaging is what's really making this feast successful.
In Williamsburg, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
And this tradition will continue with the help of the next generation as children got their chance to lift the Gilio earlier in the week.
Do a good job.
The young lifters were blessed by Monsignor Jamie Gigantiello before they danced with their smaller-sized 400-pound Gilio. The mini lift is a way for parents to pass the torch.
It's passing on that tradition and instilling what this is to us, to them. Just giving them a little taste. So as they get older, they have more of a desire to be part of the tradition as we allow it to keep growing.
So when you lift the children's one, you're like, because most of the children do it for their parents, because their parents are in the actual Gilio lifting, so they do it to reflect to their parents on how they can turn into them sometimes.
And if you're wondering, Julia says she was sore after her lift, but it was all worth it. If you missed the iconic lift, don't worry, you still have a chance to see it. The kids will dance again with their tiny tower Tuesday at 6:30, plus a night lift of the Gilio this Wednesday, July 12th. And the old-timers get their turn this Saturday on July 15th. The dancing will begin at 4. This is all leading up to the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel on Sunday, July 16th. There will be several masses that day, along with a procession. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Jessica Easthope. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.